أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum everyone. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim Sirata allazina an'amta alayhim Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin Ameen Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. All right, welcome to your friends. Inshallah, we will continue with the discussion on the Quran, the beautiful things that we are learning in terms of how to pay attention to the Quran, right? So some of the principles that the author is sharing with us that we need to pay attention to. So we kind of got familiar in terms of how the principle of fazlaka of the Quran, which is to pay attention to the ending of some verse, which has the meaning that the whole previous verses are basically mentioning that need to be read accordingly, right? So the latter verse describing so the last verse was an example. We kind of discussed this last time, which is from the Quran, section 7, verse 54. I'll just read the verse. The translation, your sustainer is God, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. That's one thing. And is firmly established on the throne of authority. He draws the night as a veil over the day, each seeking the other in rapid succession. He created the sun, the moon, and the stars, all subject to his command. Is it not his to create and to command? Blessed be God, the sustainer of all the worlds. So this was an interesting translation as well, because the question was here, is it not his to create and to command, which we discussed last time, because some of the translators kind of missed how the Quran encourages us, by making us reflect and reason. So it's like an invitation. What do you think? Or is it not his to create? Think about it. So one is that aspect, and the other one, some of them, they just don't take the questioning part and just say that, yes, it is his creation and command. So assuming that the information is already there. So we kind of went over that. So this is something we need to pay attention to in terms of a little Arabic maybe needed to know that this is a question form in the original verse. But then looking at different translations helped us a lot as well. So basically to question whether, all that has been mentioned, who is creating all that, right? So one has to really think about it. Right, so the latter verse describing the creation of the heavens and earth mentions heavens first. So that was another thing we discussed, how the creation of the heavens is not the point, right? And then the earth is not the point, right? So basically all that is there to tell me, but blessed be God, the sustainer of all the worlds, right? Just like we looked at the tree is not the point, but the fruit that it gives. So the creation of the tree and the branches and the stems, but it's actually the fruit that is the point. And just like this life of this world that we are given is not the point, but the hereafter. That's why we're given this life, basically, is the point. All right, so what did I go to? Let's see. Yeah, so the Quran invites us to wonder about the Lord of the universe. So with that questioning part, so it is a wonderful way of teaching to think about something rather than assuming something. So which does not allow for one to think and ignore the invitation of the Quran. So that's why the questioning part, having that original question is very important here. Otherwise, we will miss out on the invitation of the Quran to reflect on something. So many translators missing this rhetorical aspect of by assuming the information and then translating, presenting God's speech without evidence. So evidence is important to give, basically, because all the evidence is presented and then it asks us to wonder from that evidence, what do we think from that evidence, in a way, right? So that was like the summary of what we kind of touched upon. So it's all recorded and everybody can go and listen to, because we went into detail about some of these points that I've just summarized here. Okay, so we'll continue with the fifth quality of eloquence. So the Quran sometimes mentions material, particular matters which are subject to change and are the means of various circumstances. So sometimes mentions material, particular matters which are subject to change, but they are the means of various circumstances. Then in order to transform them, so transformation into the form of constant truths. So by mentioning those material particular matters, it's basically hinting at the haqq, the truth, the constant truth, summarizes them with the constant, luminous, universal divine names and ties them up. Or it concludes with a summary, which encourages thought and the taking of lessons. Right? So summary that encourages, invites thinking or thought or reasoning, and the taking of lessons basically based on that reasoning, so you can deduce and come to some conclusions from that encouragement, that invitation of the Quran. So an example of the first meaning. And he taught Adam the names, all of them, then placed them before the angels and said, tell me the names of these, if you are right. They said, glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save that which you have taught us. Indeed, you are all knowing, all wise. Beautiful prayer, which is from Baqarah, section 2 of the Quran, verses 31 and 32. And we usually recite this also when we conclude, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Right, so glory be unto you, we have no knowledge save that which you have taught us. Indeed, you are all knowing, all wise, which the angels are, in the presentation of the Quran, in the verse, the angels are saying that. So there are a lot of things we can discuss on this, but first let's see what the author shares. First of all, this verse mentions a particular matter, which is in the question of Adam's vicegerency. It was his knowledge that gave him superiority over the angels. Now, what kind of knowledge is this that gave him superiority over the angels? Then within this event, it mentions that of the angels' defeat before Adam in respect of knowledge. Because all the names, all of them, right? Not just one, but all of them. That's how the verse is presenting. Then it summarizes these two events with two universal names. Indeed, you are all knowing, all wise. Concludes with two divine qualities, names, all knowing and all wise. That is, since you are all knowing and wise, you instructed Adam. See how he's now taking this, basically, the conclusion of these phrases, since you are all knowing and wise, you instructed Adam, right? Goes to the beginning, and he prevailed over us. And since you are all wise, you treated us according to our abilities and gave him preference in accordance with his abilities. So that's the first meaning of this, how this eloquence works. Basically, tying up with the universal divine names and ties them up, summarizes with constant. Right, the second one being or conclusive summary, which includes thought. So this one is the first one. I'll put it one here and two here. So before we go to the second one, should we discuss any comments on this first one by anyone? In terms of summarizes them with constant, luminous, universal, divine names and ties them up. So all the names basically get tied, basically. Since you are all knowing and wise, you instructed Adam, and he prevailed over us with with the capacity, ability to know all the qualities. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
The principle of the Quran is so precisely arranged. For example, when Quran describes the deniers, it uses the very common language. They have eyes, but they don't see. They don't see them. They don't see the demonstration in the creation. They have ears, but they don't hear the message of the revelation. And ends up in the summary, mostly last part of the ayah, verse, with either God is all hearing, all seeing, related to their lacking points. So that it means, although it is not explicitly mentioned in the verse, it means, although the one who gave them eyes, the example, these are just heart also, but the one who gave them eyes, the one who gave them ears, is not acknowledged. When it is not acknowledged, so their eyes, their ear, cannot see the manifestation of the Creator's names manifested in the universe. That's why they cannot see it. Whether I really explained it or not, they cannot see it. They cannot hear it because they denied the creator of their eyes, creator of their ears. They cannot see his manifestation in the world. They cannot hear his message to human beings. This relationship is so nicely, carefully tied up in the Quran. So when we read, if we are not careful, when we read the verses, we miss this kind of beautiful arrangements and references. So it doesn't say because they denied that I am the one who gave them uh, power of seeing, power of hearing, but from the way the word speaks, you understand that they didn't see it. They don't see the manifestations of the qualities of the Creator because they denied that their eyes are given to him by the one who is the all seeing, who is the all hearing. Did you get this connection? From there, we understand this. From there, you understand that we understand that the reason why they don't really want to hear and pay attention to and listen to the message. That is why they don't really try to see the qualities of the creator of the universe manifested each and every being. The reason is explained in the Quran, although Quran doesn't say it explicitly. Did I make this point clear? Did you understand?
I think so, yeah. So you're saying whatever is missing in me, so it kind of tells me, reminds me a little bit on that, right? So my eyes, which are the most obvious things, and the ears also most obvious, if they're not used. I mean, nobody questions where their vision is coming from. I don't see anyone in this, anyone acquaintances I speak to, they never thought, okay, how come I'm able to see? How come I'm able to hear? So it is first of all, I mean, we take it for granted. That's to start off with. And then at the end, it says, okay, yeah, you kind of didn't use them in a way that they're supposed to be used. Correct. So that's what I got, right?
The reason why they don't see the manifestations of the names of the qualities of the creator is because they didn't accept that their eyes are given to them because their ears are given to them by someone else. They say, this is my eye. I will use it as I want. This is my ear. I will use it as I want. And the result is they don't see the manifestations of the qualities. They don't hear the guidance from their creator. I mean, physically they hear it, but they don't get it. Physically they see, but they don't accept it. They don't see that this is the manifestation of the uh, qualities of the creator. They don't see that this is the manifestation of the truth I am hearing through the message of the prophets. The reason is themselves owning, claiming the qualities they are given to them, owning them. That is why they don't see the reality out there.
Subhanallah. Yeah.
Sorry?
Subhanallah. Yeah, you're right.
Now, although the verse explicitly doesn't say anything like this, they say when they look, they don't see the truth. In fact, there is no the truth. They don't see, and they don't hear. There are a couple of verses, maybe more, three. Oh, are you speaking to the prophet primarily and then the readers? Don't you see that? Are you expecting them Are you expecting to make somebody, are you expecting to make somebody who cannot see, no, to make somebody who cannot see, make them see, who cannot hear, make them hear. No,
This verse, I'm just looking at.
no, this is aql. See, it is just heart. See,
Does it have see and ears with which they fail to hear?
sorry,
Eyes. They have eyes. Oops, eyes.
just a minute, just a minute.
Eyes with which they fail to see and ears with which they fail to hear. They're like cattle named.
Which they feel, yes, they fail to see, yeah. They have eyes, they fail to see, yes, exactly. But
What is this one?
another ayah, but this is one, another ayah.
Uh-huh.
No,
Good. Maybe 545. Let's see, 545. 545. This one. No, it's different. Here for you.
that's a good ayah as an example.
No, that's different. Which one? You said there's another one, right?
Let me see.
Yes.
So which one?
Anybody remembers?
Sorry.
Like which verse it would be, or it's
So, the previous ayahs were enough
okay. That's fine.
to
Then.
show, but I was looking. Duymak isteyene. Şuraya bakalım.
Quite a few places with the eyes mentioned. Look side, eye, go to before your very eye. Okay. All right, let's see this. We have. So we got the point you were saying, right? What the eyes and the ears, so they're all given for a purpose to recognize the qualities or the names of the one who is presenting whatever I'm witnessing or hearing or seeing.
Let me see. Which one? Not, tamam. Okay. Now, this relationship, there is this relationship in the Quran, in the verses of the Quran. We have to read very carefully. We can see them. The reason I claim ownership over my qualities. That is why people, those people who see nothing but the material side of this world, and their interpretation is nothing but material interactions. That is what they do. The reason is not because they don't see it, because they declared ownership over their qualities that given to them by their creator, denied it. Here, what the the subject we are reading here, now the creator is constant truth. The Quran teaches us the constant truth. And these constant truth are the constant qualities, absolute qualities of the creator. Now, and the absolute qualities are manifested in the universe. Constant. This is constant. Manifested in the universe. And God taught human beings constant qualities of the creator. So in human reality, the ability to know the uh, qualities of the creator of the universe is also constant, and human beings are expected to use them. So when we use our qualities, if we realize that I am given the qualities by my creator, ability to acknowledge the qualities by my creator, and I can choose to use these qualities, that I can acknowledge the constant qualities of the creator. So use this. Of course, I'm free not to use as well. So if I choose to use these constant qualities manifested in the universe, then I will recognize the constant qualities of the absolute creator. The relationship is makes us how this circle. My creator gave me the qualities. To know the qualities, to acknowledge the qualities.
Right.
Manifested in the universe, all his qualities, and through these manifestations of the qualities manifested in the universe, I can acknowledge the source of existence of my qualities. But I have to start with not not owning these qualities as belonging to me. I need to acknowledge that these qualities are given to me, so use my free will to investigate who has given these qualities to me. I cannot claim that I created my power of eyes. I created my power of intellect, feelings, etc. So who is the owner? God creates in such a way that I go to the universe, investigate it, find out the source of existence of my qualities, and as a result, declare that my qualities belong to my creator, the creator of the universe, who is the creator of the universe. This always works in this way. So we cannot ignore universe, but we have to have a open-mindedness. The condition is not to have a bias idea that I exist by myself. I am the owner of my qualities. That is so simple. The rest will go themselves, inshallah. Inshallah, it is clear. I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm really using the right way of explaining it.
Alhamdulillah, it's clear to me. Yes. So ownership is the problem for us, right? So the comment from Faria, if you condition yourself deliberately or not to acknowledge the source of existence, then that is the consequence faced. Not letting the message of the Creator penetrate your being and deluding yourself with your reality, right? Or taking ownership basically and not even thinking about it.
Yeah. This relationship, in fact, is everywhere in the Quran. Is everywhere in the Quran. Uh, inshallah, uh, Allah will give us the opportunity to really understand the Quran, but we have to educate ourselves through this methodology and get trained by studying, especially these books, Nursi's writings, because he is giving us all the examples, opportunities, and exercises, how we should really communicate between me, universe, my God, me, my creator, and God, God, me, universe. Then God, me, universe, and this circle continues. We have to continuously use this method in order to keep our minds fresh and get more and more detailed evidence. And as a result, get stronger conviction, more and more stronger uh, conviction, certainty about our belief. That is what we have to do it in this world. We have to do in this world, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you. So another comment from Fariha, we are thieves in a way if we think about it. Everything is given to us. So how do we end up claiming ownership over things? Shame on us, yeah. But the Quran, like Brother was saying, it doesn't say explicitly, but asks one to wonder, like invites man or human, the reader to pay attention to it, and we need to actually really pay attention when we're reading the Quran and to these kind of matters. Inshallah. Okay, so should we move on to the second one? Inshallah, let's train ourselves with reading the Quran and understand what our existence points to. Inshallah. Okay, and so an example of the second meaning. So the verse, and verily in cattle, you will find an instructive sign. So in the creation of cattle, the existence of cattle, from what is within their bodies, between excretions and blood. We produce for you your drink milk pure and agreeable for those who drink it, until wherein is healing for men. Indeed, in this is a sign for a people who think, which is from the Quran, section 16, verses 66 to 69. So it's not about the verily in the cattle. So the cattle is a sign, instructive sign of the qualities of the Lord of the universe, whoever made the cattle. So my eyes and ears and my senses should really go to the finding out the signs, seeing them as signs to get to know who the creator is. And from what is with their bodies, excretions, so which is incredible. So something pure drink coming between excretions and blood, something white, pure milk that comes out. And they say, oh, it's naturally happening. I don't know. Shame on us as per you're saying. And even healing and health is a sign for people who think or reflect. right?
None of the human-made factories can really uh, get the food, and out of this food, mixed with some water, we drink whatever we eat and fill up with our with. I fill up my stomach, not knowing what it is. Yet then what will happen? I have no idea. At the end, what comes out? Impossible to explain that this system is accidentally happened, let alone accidentally happens. Will you believe that 1,000 scholars, engineers, well-educated engineers, will be able to make a factory where this event will happen? Impossible to distributing it. Impossible. No one can believe that. And although 1,000 well-educated, well-trained engineers cannot make, but accidental events made it possible. These people are only subject to hell. That's it. Not the crazy. No, 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 no. These people deserves the hell. I believe the hell is created for these people.
Yep, indeed. This is a sign for people who reason so that or think, seeing them as signs. Otherwise, yeah, that's what naturally happening is not seeing them as signs to something else. So missing out how their existence, who is actually arranging, organizing, separating out the clear milk from the excretions and blood. Who can do that? So these verses point out that Almighty God makes creatures of his like sheep, goats, cattle, and camels into springs of pure, delicious milk for man. And artifacts like grapes and dates into cauldrons and trays laden with deliciously sweet bounties for him, and tiny miracles of his power, like the honey bee, into makers of a sweet, health-giving sherbet or syrup, and then conclude with the words, indeed, in these are signs, all these are signs for a people who think, for a people who think, for people who think, for people who think, thus urging man to think and take lessons and compare these with other things. Urging man to think and take. So when the verses says, indeed, and this is a sign for a people to reflect, so it means I have to think and reflect and see them as signs, because I'm also missing out on seeing all this creation out there as signs to his manifestation of his qualities. So I mean, this is for me, right? I mean, those who are the unbelievers are not going to be reading these verses, definitely. So it's being told to me. So I must be reading. I'm reading, so this must be applied to me. It's a sign for people who think. You said things taken for granted and don't question the existence of anything. Yeah, the comment from Fariha. So urging man to think and take lessons, right? So based or come to conclusions from whatever one is witnessing, basically. All right, here we go on to the sixth quality. So superficial thinking is the closest thinking. Yeah, the surface level, just never wondering who actually made something or arranged it in that way for a reason. Doesn't happen by itself or haphazardly. Okay, so sixth quality of, before I move there, somebody has their hand up. Rather, you go ahead.
If I say this is whatever happens or whatever the verse is telling about, creating my digestive system, creating my distribution system, and creating the result of useful stuff on one side and unnecessary stuff on the other side, milk, blood, and everything is perfectly distinguished from each other in order to have a healthy life for you. What would you say? That is a purposeful creation so that you will have a healthy life. What would you say about this statement?
Yeah, but I'm gonna die at one point.
Yeah.
I have healthy life.
So Quran says, when I mention the examples from the creation, from the world, that means in order to give you evidence for to think about and come to a conclusion. Come to a conclusion. So this is for إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. So healing is there. Healing is there. There is a healing here. The produce. Where was the word? Indeed, yes. Wherein is healing for man, right? Healing is there.
Right.
That as the verse says,
But that's not the point of healing for
yeah,
me.
فيه شفاء للناس. شفاء للناس. But the result is healing for human beings. But why are they created in this way? But just create me with as a healthy man. Isn't that enough? The one who created me, can he not create me as a healthy man?
That's how it's presented in Islam, actually, or in the culture. They say, okay, yeah, eat dates, Zamzam water. This has health in there for you.
So, Quran says, yes, there is healing in this action for you, but these events happening in your body, the result also is healing, but this is not the purpose. The real purpose is إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون. The purpose is this is definitely this is for the purpose of being a sign for a people who think. That is what we have to understand from the teachings of the Quran. The people think that the Quran teaches something about what is happening in the universe in a time that people didn't know. What is the point? But Quran is a miraculous speech. Yeah, it is a miraculous speech. I really admire it. So what? So what? The purpose is just to have a meaning in your life. Yeah.
I like this. So conclude with the words. That's why the honey or from the bee is made. All this a healing, but indeed these are signs for people who think. Yeah.
These are signs for those people
Yeah.
who think.
Subhanallah. This is beautiful verses that we kind of butcher up. Yeah, we don't really get to the point.
If we don't notice, we think that Quran is telling us what is happening in my body where people didn't know something. It's so that the Quran is a miraculous book. So what? It's a miraculous book, yeah. What am I going to do? To think, to think, and get your conclusion, understand the meaning of your life. Yep.
See, there's a comment from Mavia. Mavia, want to read it or should I read it? So Mavia says, can it be understood as a spiritual healing of sorts? So wherein is healing for men, but these are physical things, right? So in other words, bringing someone who is living in society where everything pulls them away from God. It means heals the connection between them and God. So if we take them as signs, yes, definitely, it would do that. Correct. Right. So if you take them as signs,
But here physical description is given, but the spiritual side is indeed in this is a sign for a people who think. So spiritual healing uh, is given the opportunity if it is used by thinking, by reflecting on this kind of creation. Otherwise, in and of itself, bodily healing. After thinking that you can get the spiritual healing, but of course, you have to think. Without thinking, you cannot get the spiritual healing. You get only bodily healing. The last part points to the spiritual healing, as far as I understand.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys gonna sit out in the nice shade up here.
So I think so. The comment, I think so, because the verses draw their attention towards pondering over the provider of all our qualities when we experience it physically. Yeah, agreed. All right. Any other thoughts or okay, so we can move. These are beautiful phrases, actually. The examples are beautiful as well to reflect on. So the eyes, ears that we discussed earlier, and now indeed concluding with the phrase by witnessing all the bounty that everything that's created, we are all benefiting from it in a way. Right? So indeed, and these are signs for a people who think should be our conclusion. All right. So the sixth quality of eloquence. It sometimes happens that a verse spreads out dominical decrees over a great multiplicity of things. Then it unifies them with a tie of unity, resembling an aspect of unity, or it situates them within a universal rule. For example, his throne does extend over the heavens and the earth, and he feels no fatigue in preserving them. For he is the Most High, the Supreme. Section Baqarah, verse 255. Thus, together with proving with 10 phrases in Ayatul Kursi, 10 levels of divine unity in varying hues, with the phrase, who is there that can intercede in his presence except as he permits? It rejects utterly and vehemently the associating of partners with God and interference of others and casts them away. Also, since this verse manifests the greatest name, its meaning related to the divine truths are at a maximum degree, so that it demonstrates the dominical acts of disposal at a maximum level. Furthermore, after mentioning the divine regulation of all the heavens and the earth, and a preservation encompassing all things at the maximum degree, a tie of unity and aspect of unity, summarizes the sources of those maximum manifestations with the phrase, for he is the Most High, the Supreme. Okay, before we go to the next example, let's go over this because, right, so dominical decrees over a great multiplicity of things, and then it unifies them with a tie of unity, which is this one. For he is the Most High, the Supreme. Right, so all the throne that extends over heavens and earth is spread out far and wide. He feels no fatigue in preserving them, for he is the Most High, the Supreme. So an absolute high, absolute supreme being. And then the author also shares thus proving with the 10 phrases of Ayatul Kursi, the 10 levels of divine unity. So each phrase is a level of confirming the divine unity. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه, except as he permits. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. So this is one of the phrases, right? Who is there that can intercede in his presence except as he permits? So this is the whole tying up universal rule of who this Lord of the universe is. So rejects utterly and vehemently the associating of partners with God and interference of others, and casts them away. So by stating these, whatever the message in the verses is, it basically confirms or rejects easily any association, since he is the Most High, the Supreme, or there's nothing that can intercede in his presence, and definitely nothing at all. No, I can't say this because of this happened. As he permits sounds interesting. So that's the presentation, yeah. Any comments, Brother Ali? Please go ahead.
Can you share this verse with us? To
Inshallah, I'll check it up there too.
yeah, very easy. Original ayah. Now, so what we will notice is what is mentioned is here the last piece. وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Sorry. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. Right?
Yeah.
The conclusion summary is وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. Nothing وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. In the universe, السماوات والأرض represents universe. Yeah, represents universe. When only a sama is used, represents above everything. السماوات والأرض, universe. That is what usually Qur'an speaks with this one, with these terms.
Samawat is just, you said everything, like in terms of the meaning.
Universe altogether. But as-sama is beyond and above and beyond everything.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. Anything refers to something beyond itself is sama.
Okay. The pinnacle of something. Or...
Yeah. No, not the pinnacle. Above and beyond.
I see.
Now, for example, a word is a word. The meaning of the word is a sama of the word. Above and beyond. Did you get it? No. Now, for example, I wrote a sentence here. Now, when you read the sentence, is the sentence, but the meaning is it's sama, because it refers to something not of the nature of the sentence itself. Completely different thing, above and beyond. ثم استوى إلى السماء, which means God take over the power over all this universe, authority, lordship, all over the universe, took over. Now, it doesn't mean that as-samawat, it means stars and galaxies and every single being on earth, for example, for us. This is included in samawat wal ard. Kursi represents everything, every authority in the creation of each and every being. You find something, la ilaha illahu. There is no authority in the universe. There is no creator in the universe but He. That is why Kursi means when you look at everything, anything, you will find the qualities of the creator only. This is what the verse says. And we understand that if I study the creation of everything, whatever you find it in the universe, whatever we find in the universe is nothing but manifesting the qualities of its being. Now, in this context, I think there is a comment. Anything of this universe is Sama? No. Just the opposite, Feria. Now, anything above and beyond, not of the same nature. So what Muawiyah says,
How can the word mean something more than itself?
yes, how can a word mean something more than, no, the word itself points to the meaning which is not of the nature of the word. Maybe, yes, no, because you understand the word means something more than itself. This something more than itself is not of the nature of the word. We deduce it from it. This is the sema of the word. The meaning is the sema of the word. So the quality is manifested in the creation is the sema of the creation or the things. Maybe I should use it the sentence like this. The meaning we extract from the beings, from the things, is not of the nature of the thing itself. This is the sema of the word, sema of the thing. So this everything points to its sema.
For example, the art on the, let's say on the bird, that's the sama of the bird, the art.
Sorry?
If I say the art on the bird, is this art is the sama of the bird? Or the quality manifested on the bird?
No, what did you say? On the
Art, A-R-T, art.
art,
Yes, art.
the art, and art is sema, but what art represents? The qualities of the
The,
artist
the
or
artist,
the bird.
yes.
Now, but this quality is nothing of the nature of the bird. That human mind uh, uh, understands. Those people who look at the bird only as a bird, they don't understand. They don't expect. They don't see the sema of the bird.
I see. So one is used by itself, samawat without the, well, earth, it refers to that above and beyond meaning of the qualities.
Yes, that's correct. Example, Feriha says the meaning of Meaning of everything is sema of the word because it is not of the same nature of the universe. Now, sema of the universe is the creator of the universe. Example, the art quality sema, if only I can connect it to its source of existence, not of the nature of this universe. Yes, that's understood now. Now, the other verse mentioned, the other piece of the verse is what? Can you translate it? Can you read the translation? Who is there? No. Yeah, you read from it. Who is there?
Who is there who intercedes with him except with his permission?
Now, okay, the other translation, go the same part.
Who is there that intercedes for his providence except by his permission?
Okay, go
Who is
to,
there who could intercede with him unless it is by his leave or permission?
this is who's that the
This
first
is
one is.
Asad,
Yeah.
yeah, which is the best.
Now, they understood is as intercession. Correct? Shafa'a. Read the original word in the verse from the Quran. من ذا الذي.
يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
Now read it. You
من ذا
read it
الذي
all together.
يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
Now, you got it now.
Mhm.
Because يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. Right?
Right,
That is intercession. Understood as intercession, okay?
right.
Now, read the text now. We can go back to text. Be careful, it is understood commonly as intercession. How the author understands from this
He says it rejects
intercession?
utterly and vehemently the associating of partners with God
Yeah?
and interferences of others.
Look.
Yeah.
Interference of others in the act of creation. Shafa'a is something interference of act of others, interference of others in the creation. You see, that is what Nursi is. It doesn't mean that prophets or intercession is denied. No, if you take a lesson from a professor and learn how to make something, this information intercedes between the prophet's teaching, intercedes between you and the thing, how to do it. Understand? If you take the message or exemplary life of the prophet as a pattern for you and apply it to your life, now, then from this, from learning this prophetic teaching, this learning intercede between you and doing the right thing. Not that the prophet will say, oh, Muawiyah, where were you born? In India. Who was your parent? Muslims. Are you Muslim? Yeah. You are one of my ummah, so I will intercede for you. Don't worry about it. Intercession is nothing to do with this understanding. It is revolutionary. Okay. It's very interesting.
Very interesting, yeah, subhanAllah. Yep. And also, since this verse manifests the greatest name, its meaning related to the divine truths are at a maximum degree.
Now, he is Ali Azim.
Ali al-Azim, yeah.
Now, He doesn't need anyone to get in between him and what he does. Doesn't need it. Intercession is understood in this way. Exceptional way of understanding the Quran because of the method. This method, human beings, universe, and the source of the creation. Source of the creation, human beings and the universe. That's how it works. A circle. Supports each other, supports each other. Like this, the machine, the engine of the car. There are 4 or 6, how do you call them, pistons? Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or cylinders or
Yeah, pistons. Now, one of them goes down, automatically the other one goes up. And automatically the other one, like this, they work together. I don't know. So, if one of them works, the other doesn't move. So they are interrelated with each other. God, universe, human being, human beings, God, universe. No, universe, human beings, God, they all work in connection with each other, support each other. That is the principle we should never ever forget. Inshallah. Martin, time is up.
inshallah. So the tie of unity and aspect of unity summarize the sources of those maximum manifestations. For he is the most high, the supreme. Nothing comes in between. All right, I think so. It's a good time to stop here.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana. Innaka anta al-alim al-hakim. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati surat al-Fatiha. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. See you tomorrow, inshallah, and Tuesday.
Inshallah.
Tuesday, Osman is going to present, inshallah.
Inshallah.